Leon had always believed life was a series of storms, some you survive, others you learn from. As a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Mira, he had grown used to long nights, low wages, and the constant fear of failing the only person who depended on him. His job as a maintenance worker in the towering glass building of Altera Corporation didn't offer much, but it paid just enough to keep the lights on and Myra's school fees covered. Every morning began with the same routine: packing Myra's small lunchbox, tying her worn shoelaces, and giving her the pep talk she loved. She would always smile and say, "Daddy, today will be better." And somehow, that was enough to push him through each day. What he didn't expect was for his entire world to collide with someone who lived in a completely different universe, the CEO of the company he worked for, Aria Vale. Known for her flawless composure, sharp decisions, and the kind of confidence that made people straighten their backs when she walked by, Leon had seen her only a handful of times from a distance while mopping marble floors. She was everything he wasn't: wealthy, powerful, untouchable, but fate rarely asked permission before crossing paths. One evening, when Leon stayed late fixing a broken heating unit on the top floor, he heard muffled arguing from behind the CEO's office door. He didn't mean to listen, but the voices were too loud to ignore. A man angry, threatening. Papers crashing. Aria telling him to leave. Leon hesitated. Should he knock? Should he pretend he heard nothing? Before he could decide, the door flew open and a tall man stormed out, nearly knocking Leon aside. The man shot him a hateful glare before disappearing into the elevator. When Leon peeked into the office, Aria was standing there, shoulders trembling slightly. Not crying, but close to the edge of something heavy, something painful. "Are you okay?" Leon asked quietly. She blinked at him as if shocked someone would even ask. "I'm fine," she whispered, though her voice said otherwise. He nodded, respected her privacy, and fixed the heating unit quickly. Before leaving, he placed a small box of tissues on her desk. It wasn't much, but it made her pause. The next morning, as he prepared Mira for school, Leon didn't think much of it. People in high places had their own battles. What could someone like him possibly do? But everything changed that night. A sudden storm swept through the city. Mira fell asleep early, cuddled under blankets. Leon was preparing to shower when a knock echoed through his apartment door, soft, hesitant, almost fragile. When he opened it, he froze. Aria Vale stood there, drenched from the rain, clutching her arms around herself. Her eyes were red, her hair soaked, her voice barely a whisper. "Leon? I didn't know where else to go." His confusion turned to worry instantly. "What happened?" She didn't answer. She simply stepped inside, shivering. He gave her one of his shirts so she could dry off. And somewhere between exhaustion, fear, and relief, she fell asleep on the couch. Leon went to sleep in his room, unsure of what tomorrow would bring, but nothing could have prepared him for waking up to find the CEO of Altera standing in his kitchen at sunrise, in his shirt, staring at him with an expression he couldn't read. Then she spoke the words that froze him. "Leon, I need your help. I don't trust anyone else." Chapter 2. Leon sat up slowly, still trying to understand how his life had turned into something that felt like someone else's story. "What do you mean you can't trust anyone else?" he asked gently. Aria took a long breath. She looked smaller than he'd ever seen her, not the commanding figure from the skyscraper boardroom, but a human being carrying a weight far too heavy. "The man you saw yesterday, the one who stormed out," she began. "He used to be someone I believed in. Someone I thought I could rely on." She clenched her hands tightly. "But he's trying to take everything I've built. He wants control of the company. And when I refused to sign over authority, she stopped, looking down. He threatened me." Leon felt anger stirring inside him, protective and instinctive. "Did he hurt you?" "No. But he might. And he'll come after anyone who stands near me." She stepped closer. "I can't go to the board. I can't involve the media. I needed a safe place to think in. Yours was the only place that didn't feel like a trap." Leon swallowed. "Why me?" "Because you're the only person who talked to me without wanting anything in return," she said softly. "You saw me that day, you saw I was not okay, and you didn't pretend you didn't notice. That mattered more than you know." Silence settled between them, warm and fragile. Mira woke up moments later, sleepy-eyed and confused by the sight of a stranger in their small kitchen. But Aria knelt down, introduced herself with a gentle smile, and Mira instantly warmed up. Leon watched the scene, feeling his heart tug.
Something about Aria had shifted. She wasn't the CEO right now.
She was someone lost, scared, but trying to stand tall. The next few days were a blur of tension and closeness. Aria stayed with them while she planned her next steps. She cooked with Leon, helped Mira with homework, and even laughed, truly laughed, for the first time in what felt like ages. But the danger didn't stay away. One night, while Leon was putting Mira to bed, Aria's phone buzzed.
A message from the same man: if you think hiding will save you, you're wrong. You belong to my company.
You belong to my decisions. She nearly dropped the phone. Leon saw her shaking and immediately stepped closer.
He found you?
She nodded. Aria, he said firmly, you're not alone.
Not anymore.
His voice steadied her. His presence grounded her. And for the first time, she let herself lean on someone. The next morning, Leon offered a solution she hadn't considered, going directly to the shareholders with evidence of the threats. Aria hesitated, afraid of retaliation, afraid of losing everything, but Leon said something that stayed with her forever. Sometimes courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to not run away. Those words broke the last chain of fear. With Leon by her side, she walked into the shareholders' meeting and revealed everything: the threats, the sabotage attempts, the manipulation. The board was stunned, angry, protective. Security was put in place. The man was removed and investigated. When it was over, Aria walked out of the building into the sunlight, breathing freely for the first time in months. Leon was waiting outside. She stepped up to him, eyes soft.
You didn't just help me. You saved me from losing myself.
He shook his head.
No.
You saved yourself.
I just stood nearby.
No, she whispered. You gave me something I haven't felt in years. Her voice trembled.
A reason to trust.
In that moment, Leon realized something too: storms may come, but sometimes they bring people together who never would have found each other otherwise. As Mira ran up and hugged both of them, Aria looked at Leon with a promise in her eyes, of gratitude, of healing, and maybe something deeper waiting to grow. The story didn't end with victory in a boardroom. It began with a single act of kindness, and the quiet courage of two people who found strength in each other when they needed it most. A reminder that no matter how different our worlds seem, a good heart is the bridge that connects them.